Hey guys, welcome to the Hey DJ show. I'm your host, DJ Jimenez. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're over on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more content. Remember, you can catch this podcast on the go wherever you get your podcast. And do consider following me on every social media platform at Hey DJ Show. With all that boring stuff out of the way, I'm happy to introduce my next guest, Meaghan Youngblood. Meaghan, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for agreeing to this. And let me just get this out of the way. Like, I wanted to get it on camera. You have the coolest last name, Youngblood.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
You must get that.
I do, but it never gets old. Yeah, always love the compliment.
Like, you're the only Youngblood I've ever met, and it's just
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like it's like I've heard last names where it's let me see, like, this is gonna sound silly, but somebody with the last name Rice or something. Usually when I hear last names, it sounds like a name. It's not like an object.
Right.
Yeah, and then
Or like a rap group or
yeah, and then Youngblood is two words, literally two words put together.
It is.
And then it's like, hey, I'm Meaghan Youngblood. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, but it kind of gives me like cool points before someone even meets me.
Yeah.
Like they just see my last name and they're never expecting me, so I'm already a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just automatically like, wow, your last name's so cool. And I'm like in like already. So
That's awesome.
it's a good perk. And like when you're calling people and they're like, spell your first and last name. I never have to spell my last name. So it's really nice. Just like Youngblood. And they're like, oh, okay. And it's a conversation starter a lot, too. Just, like, making doctor's appointments. They're like, you should start a clothing line for vampires. And that's been, like, a real conversation when I'm trying to schedule a doctor's appointment. So.
Oh, my God. All the time. Especially when they're, like, taking your blood. It's like, you should start a clothing line, vampires. It's like, all right, cool. I haven't heard of that one before.
Yep. I've had cops comment on it before, asking me if I'm a vampire. So it's made life interesting so far.
So what was your life like when Twilight was trendy?
Okay, surprisingly, it didn't really get any different.
What?
I know. And I never actually watched Twilight.
Oh, good. Me neither.
Yeah. And that surprised a lot of people, but I thought it would be like a big thing when any vampire thing pops up. Also, Vampire Diaries was like huge in high school.
Yeah.
And
I was an extra for that show.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
For like a couple episodes.
Yeah. But yeah, no, not any real like hype around it. But
I mean, it's a cool, like, yeah, if you became a rapper, like, usually they try to have a other nickname. No, just drop Meaghan and keep Youngblood. That's it.
Yep. So I could do a lot with it. In high school, I thought I was really cool and like spelled blood with my fingers, and yeah, had my friend like write Young on her hand and like hold it next to me.
Oh, that's hilarious. Joined the blood gang. It's like you're not wearing anything. It's like you're not part of the blood. It's like I'm Youngblood. Oh, she's the Youngblood. I
am all it. Right. Yeah. So watch out.
Oh man, if I could do like a little short film, like I would get like the biggest, baddest dudes and stuff, and they're all talking about Youngblood, like no like no pronouns and stuff. It's all like, yo, Youngblood would have liked that. Yo, you need to see Youngblood. It's like, take it up with Youngblood, and then everybody's like, man, who's this Youngblood? Yeah. And at the end, like they get like this person who was stealing from you, and they're like, oh, I don't want to meet Youngblood, I'm so sorry. And then it's just you coming in, but like you're all dressed so nice and stuff, and you're smiling. It's like, so what's going on?
Like,
so this is the guy who was stealing
like
from us?
Pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah. You just have your Starbucks and you're just like, so this is the guy that's been stealing from us? It's like, who are you? I'm Youngblood.
Oh my gosh.
No, you're not.
I feel like that has to happen.
That has to happen.
It has to happen.
I promise you, if I ever get the resource, we're going to make it happen.
Okay. Yeah.
But like, you're already with Steven, so like we're already halfway there.
Yep. Okay, I'm in.
All right. I'm sold. All right, so see, this is what I'm talking about. See, I didn't even have this written down. It was like legit. I wanted to talk about your last name.
I told you, it's always a conversation piece.
It is. And when you said it was a conversation starter, I was like, damn it, I fell into the
it's a good
to
one,
one of the statistics.
It's a good one. I have a lot of good stories about it.
So Meaghan, I'm interested in having you as a guest because I think your job title is pretty unique. I don't know a lot of people who are in your line of work. So for the audience, what is your job title?
So I'm a dietitian, a registered dietitian. Specifically, I'm a clinical dietitian. So I do inpatient clinical nutrition at a hospital with patients who are admitted. So specifically cardiac patients.
Yeah. So like, because I'm not saying this as a knock, because I've heard of nutritionists and stuff like that, like
Yeah, yeah.
people trying to help other people get healthy and all that,
Mm-hmm.
but I never heard of a registered clinical dietitian. Like
Yeah.
I was like, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And I mean that's cool. That, like more again, it's not a knock. I
Yeah,
just
no,
didn't
nobody
know.
knows what a dietitian is. Everybody
They
knows
hear
what a
diet and
nutritionist
they can kind of
is.
assume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But so just going ahead of being blunt, are you helping out like people that are usually like obese, overweight and stuff? Like, hey, we need to come up with a...
So it's different for depending on what kind of dietitian you are. And so the difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist, they actually just changed their credentialing for dietitians.
Really?
Yeah, because it's always been registered dietitian, RD, and then in the last couple of years, they changed it so you can either be RD or you can be RDN for registered dietitian nutritionist, just because everybody knows what a nutritionist is.
Well, then why change it?
Because technically, a nutritionist is just someone who, like, you can read a book on nutrition and just call yourself a nutritionist. Like, there's no regulation, there are no like guidelines. You can have technically like a certificate from some place,
online kind of thing.
Yeah. But like, there's no regulation around it. To be a dietitian, you have to be registered with the academy, you have to be licensed by the state, you have to do like supervised practice hours, like it's really regimented. And you can be a clinical dietitian or you can be a private practice dietitian, or school systems have dietitians. And so it's different. And most outpatient dietitians do a lot of weight loss counseling and help with diabetes and stuff like that. Which can be an inpatient setting too. It just depends on what you cover. So if you do like critical care, it's a lot of like ICU patients. So you're managing their tube feeding and figuring out how they're going to get their calories and protein with whatever they have going on. My particular one is kind of a mix of both because I cover ICUs and I also just cover general like cardiac floors. And so it does end up being a lot of like heart healthy diet, weight loss, low sodium type education.
Oh, dang. Low sodium. I will admit, like, I'm not the healthiest guy. Like, hopefully you can give me some pointers. But I remember like just growing up, it's like, oh, you're either a sweet or a savory person.
Right.
I'm definitely a savory. I'm not really. Very occasionally do I have a sweet tooth, but I'm salt all the way, man. Savory, season.
As are many of my patients. Yeah.
I show up one day. Hey Megan,
DJ.
Remember that talk? Yeah, I kind of need help.
Welcome to the cardiac unit.
Oh, man.
I definitely have a sweet tooth. I have a major sweet tooth. Which people think if you're a dietitian, you automatically are just like the healthiest person ever.
See, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. This is going to be one of my questions, but we'll move on to that. But I was thinking that, like, just like with doctors, like I remember even growing up thinking like, oh, if you're a doctor, you're automatically super healthy because you're a doctor.
Sure, because you know the facts.
Yeah.
So.
And then come to find out, like, especially back in the 70s, but even still now, there are doctors who smoke. And it's like, dude, what?
I know. It's like, what happened. So like, why do you do it?
Yeah. So. I mean, they have a stressful job. I get it. But at the same time, it's like,
there are other
avenues.
Yeah.
So like, walk us through like, okay, what's today? Today's Saturday. All right. Come Monday, you go in. What's average day like? Like, what's from like kind of beginning to end, if you can summarize it, like your job duties and stuff?
So I cover, specifically my units, I cover general cardiac floor. I see patients who are in for heart surgery. And then I cover 3 cardiac ICUs. And so it's like normal ICU patients, but with like cardiac emphasis. And then I also cover all of heart transplant patients. So I see them before and after they get a new heart.
Oh, wow.
And so my day to day can differ a lot depending on like which units I'm on. It's a lot of impromptu diet education usually. So I'll be going to like check on a patient. The thing with like acute care, so like an inpatient setting, is it's not a lot of like, let's sit down and make a meal plan and figure out how to make you healthier. It's more like dealing with like why they are in the hospital, like looking at their current problem, what put them here, and trying to like fix the now.
Yeah.
And then if they still need more help, you can like refer them to like an outpatient dietitian. So the diet education component hopefully carries over to the outpatient part, but it doesn't always, because then they end up back in.
No.
And you do the same thing over and over again. So sometimes it doesn't click. But
I know you told me to not eat red meat, but then I ate red meat because I thought it would be okay this time,
Right.
even though you said not to.
Yeah. It's like, I thought that was just like a little suggestion.
I thought you said just for the day.
Yeah, like
you know?
like right now, don't eat red meat.
Yeah.
But like,
and I
for
wasn't because I
dinner,
was talking
it's
to
fine.
you.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I had a salmon, and then the next day I had red meat. I thought that was okay.
Yeah. That sounds like what I listen to. But for some people it does click. For my patients, salt is like the biggest thing.
Dude.
Because they all have heart failure. And with heart failure, ignoring all of like the physiology part of it, basically you retain a lot of fluid. And so you're all swollen everywhere. And it has a lot of like nutritional implications to it. But salt like holds on to water. And so in these patients, a low salt diet is like extra important. But people crave salty food. I mean, it's like addicting. And so
you're preaching to the choir.
And like, and I tell them like I can relate, because it's the same with me and like sweet stuff. So like if you're doing really great and you go like a week, 2 weeks with like no salty snacks, you're not adding any salt to your food, everything's great. You have like one thing and then you like snowball. And that is exactly what happens to me with dessert. And so I can like relate to them. So it's a lot of impromptu diet education. Like I'll just be talking to them and they'll be like, so what do I eat? And then it kind of launches into a little
like the meal plan kind
lesson.
of thing.
Yeah. But then I'll go into my ICUs and it'll be a patient who like got really critical overnight and now has a feeding tube and needs some sort of tube feeding, which is different depending on what you have going on. So there's this one like super dialysis basically that just runs like 24/7 to pull fluid off of my patients. And with the fluid comes micronutrients and protein. And so your needs are just like through the roof. And so it's
that's
a lot
one
of,
thing
like,
I was doing research on my own time, like back in 2019, definitely before COVID, when I heard of the words micronutrients and macronutrients, I was like, damn it, what is this? Like before, because I was trying to focus like gaining muscle mass, and then I was learning all these new things. I just thought I had to look out for fat, calories, and proteins. And then I'm hearing macronutrients and micro, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And so I realized it's a, like, in a way I respect now like bodybuilders and like fitness models and stuff, because now it's like a whole science to it.
They're all about like counting macros.
Yeah,
is what they call it,
so like there's a level of respect there, like the stress, but respect at the same time.
And there's a certain subset of dietitians who are specifically like sports dietitians. Like they work with bodybuilders so that they don't just like Google and say, okay, I need a bajillion grams of protein every day. Because then you'll totally like shot out your kidneys. Like it'll be bad for your kidneys. And so like you really have to manage it really carefully. And so there's like dietitians who specifically work with those groups to help them manage it better. But yeah, it's like micronutrients are basically like your vitamins and minerals, and your macronutrients are the big ones. So protein, carbs, and fat. I think water might be a macronutrient.
If like right now you work at a hospital, but if with your education and your knowledge, could you see yourself working, not that you want to, I'm just saying, like, could you work in a sports dietitian?
Yeah, potentially. Anytime you switch from like clinical to public health type setting, you're gonna have to do a little bit of research just because everything changes so fast. So like you learn all of it during school, and then you have to do an internship. You have to do a dietetic internship, and you have rotations in clinical and also public health. And so like 2 years ago, I could have just walked into either one potentially. But now that I'm doing like, I'm in such like a subset, like specifically acute care cardiac patients, I'd have to probably like brush up on the research if I were switching gears.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I could totally help someone count some macros.
Okay. Man, it's, God, just hearing that, like, more respect to you, but at the same time, I'm just like, I do not envy you whatsoever.
It gets real sciencey. I didn't actually know.
See, and I like science. It's just, I don't know. When it comes to, this is going to sound like, I'm pretty sure you've heard this since you're in this field. I just want to eat my food and go and live life.
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I bet you hear that like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I do too.
Yeah.
And to a degree, you can do that.
Yeah.
So it's just when you have excess of something and you kind of like eat yourself into a tizzy, or you have any other medical issue happening, then you just have to manage it. So like kidney disease is not always diet induced, you know, sometimes you have kidney disease for other issues, but there's a huge nutrition component that comes with kidney disease, and so you can't just eat your food and go. You have to make sure that you're limiting all this other stuff.
But same with patients who are part like diabetic and stuff. Like
same thing. You gotta count your carbs and
sugar.
Watch what you eat. You can't have that cookie. Like yeah.
Oh, having this one cookie isn't gonna kill me. For you,
actually,
it will. For you,
funny
it will.
thing you say that. Yeah.
Oh man. So, what made you get into this field? Like, walk us through the origin story of Meaghan Youngblood.
Yes, with the history of me. I always have loved food. It's my first love. I have always been torn between like nutrition and like the culinary route. And so when I was little, I used to bake all the time with my cousins. My grandma had this one cookbook from Louisiana that we always cooked out of. And so I was always really into baking.
That's something I need to get into. Like I love to cook, but I'm 0% baking.
See, I actually didn't get into cooking until college.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was always a baker first. So I just baked, you know, like cookies and lemon bars and stuff like that.
Nice. Madeleines?
Yep. Well, madeleines are tricky. And so
Are they?
I've just recently been experimenting with madeleines.
Oh, man, dude, I love them.
Yeah.
And
have you made them?
No, okay. I haven't touched baking
It's
whatsoever.
like kind of hard to get the texture right because they have to be like light and fluffy.
And like the ridges a little bit crispy.
Yep. And I'm having a problem with them sticking to my Madeleine pan. I haven't been able to figure that part out yet. I've tried like 3 times and they stick every time. So.
Yeah, so that's my pastry.
Maybe I just need a different pan.
I know that eventually.
That's so funny that Madeleine's is your pastry.
Yeah.
That's so like specific. Cool though.
I'm trying to remember why. It's like one day I tried them and I'm like, man, I've been sleeping on
they're
this.
Good. They're like just
they're
nice
awesome.
Little delicate cookies.
Like before, everybody's like, oh, donuts. And yeah, donuts are nice. But then I tried a Madeleine and I was like, yo, this is the shit. Like, yeah.
Yeah, they're good. But yeah, so I got into baking, and then I went through this phase, and I guess it was late middle school, early high school. I wasn't necessarily like fat. I was a little chunky. My family at one point when I was younger, I think referred to me as a garbage disposal. I was not picky at all.
Yeah, same.
I ate everything, you know. I loved food, all of it. And then I stopped drinking soda, and I like lost all this weight just strictly from cutting out soda.
Nice.
I don't remember why. I just decided to stop drinking it.
I'd done that.
Yeah.
Like, and then I stopped.
And I got all this like great attention, and then I was like, Little Debbie's next. So I cut out Little Debbie's, and I just kind of, it like spiraled into like maybe not eating enough and some like kind of disordered eating behavior where I went from like one end of the spectrum straight to the other.
Oh, wow.
I know. And then eventually it kind of balanced out, and that's where like nutrition entered. And so I still liked baking a lot. I'd bake and take the food into school for all my friends to have. And then I thought about going to culinary school, like right out of high school. And then decided it was very expensive, so I didn't. So I went for UGA and took my first nutrition class and just loved it. And I was like, this is awesome.
So when you went into school, your first semester, you didn't pick a major or anything?
I was a Spanish major.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I started at UGA as a Spanish major. Then I took an intro to nutrition class just because we need like the electives or whatever.
The elective.
And so I took intro to nutrition, and I was like, this is the coolest. And so then I changed my major to dietetics. And then eventually I added a second major for consumer foods because I wasn't sure. Like, if you want to go the dietitian route, you take dietetics. If you want to go the culinary route, you take consumer foods. And so I still didn't really know which one I wanted to do, so I did both. And then I didn't realize nutrition was a science major at first.
Oh, really?
Science was like never really my strong suit.
What is your strong suits?
I was really good at math. I really liked math.
Math, yeah. I was a
Um,
math and science guy. Like history and literature
yeah.
is not my thing.
No, I always found those like really boring. And
Mm.
like everyone in my family is a history teacher or
Oh.
like some sort of like history buff or an English teacher. My grandma was a college English professor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like everybody's English history
I
and it just
respect
skipped right
them.
over me.
I think, there's some of the smartest people, but just no, it's not my thing.
It's just not
I've
my
always
thing.
done so poor.
Yeah.
But right now in college, like I'm only taking 3 classes and they're my absolute worst subjects. It's literature, well, English composition, government and history. And
That's a doozy.
yeah, like, and I was like super worried going into the semester, but luckily I honestly have 3 awesome professors. Like they all want to help you, and so like yeah, shout out to them. I told them about my show, so maybe they see it. But no, they're awesome, and I'm actually doing well. Like I have all A's in the class, and I'm just like,
Wow.
and I keep looking at my watch, going like, when is this gonna end?
Yep. I took college English in high school. It was like an option to take it through Perimeter. And like a professor from Perimeter College would come to the high school and teach it like 2 or 3 days a week. So I opted to do that instead of like an AP Lit or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have to take any English classes when I got to UGA.
Ah, lucky.
I know. I was so happy. Was so happy. And then the only reason I had to take a history class was because it's like required in the state of Georgia
Yeah.
to take. One like U.S. history and one Georgia history or something. So I was required to do that one. But other than that, didn't take a thing. I didn't even actually take any math classes until I added my second major because I did AP Calc. So I like got all of the like annoying ones out of the way.
Yeah.
So that when I got to UGA, it was just like Spanish and nutrition.
Yeah, like the ones that you want to take. Yeah.
And also science apparently. So.
Well, I'm trying to be a dental hygienist, so like right now I'm still taking the classes I need to take before I go into the dental program.
Like your core ones.
Yeah. So hopefully if everything goes well and I pass, I should, and because the dental program only opens up in the fall. So like if I miss my shot this coming fall, then I have to wait a whole year. And so I'm just like, oh, the pressure's on.
Pressure's on.
Yeah.
It's fine though. Are you at your last core classes?
No, I have to take the next semester, and then if I do well, then a couple more in the summer, and then get those out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was an idiot. I took the summer off the last summer.
Year?
Yeah, because I needed it. I've been out of school for like 10 years. I'm super rusty.
It's hard to go back in.
Yeah, so I needed that summer off. I'm glad I did. And now I'm doing better now. And so now next summer, I have to take summer classes.
I took 2 years off after I graduated before I applied for the internship because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. And even like 2 years going back after that, it was difficult.
Yeah.
So, and also I felt really old. Like everybody else was like fresh out of college.
Dude, I'm 29 and I'm in a classroom full of like people fresh out of high school. And I'm just like, huh.
Yeah.
And I like, I still look young. And so I was with a group project in my English class, and we were just getting to know each other, and they're like, was like, oh, how old are you? And somebody was like, oh, 19. The other person was like 20. They were like, you? And I was like 29. And they're like, oh, damn, you're old. And I'm like,
oh my gosh. Funny thing at my office, it's a bunch of like, we all look the same actually. It's very like Stepford Wives. We're all like young, brown hair, general build. Yeah, it's weird. But
we need a blonde, or
we have one blonde.
Oh wow.
We do have one blonde. She's new. Yeah, it's weird. I always joke about how we're like eye candy for like the dementia patients, and then like at a certain age, like dietitians just like disappear. I don't know where they go. Maybe like private practice, but like you never see like older dietitians in a clinical setting. But like you just don't know how old anybody is because you just assume that you're all generally the same age, and like you feel kind of old if someone's like fresh out of their internship. But like I waited 2 years to do mine, and so it was like I'm a little bit older, but And then you'll end up like having a conversation with somebody and it'll come up like, by the way, like, how old are you? And everyone's always surprised if you're like 28 versus like 24, and it's like a shock to everybody.
Oh, wow.
It's like beforehand, like age was not even a thing. And now it's like, oh my God, you are 29. Oh my God, that's like 5 years difference.
Yeah. Oh,
Everyone's
man.
shook by it.
I didn't know I was going to, like, right after high school. Like, I wanted to be an actor. And in my head, I was like, I knew I didn't want to go to college. And so, to make a long story short, like, I moved to Atlanta. I thought, like, oh, this was going to be a smart move. And just worked at a restaurant that, like, sucked away my life. And I was just, like, super... I'm normally a happy person. Like, I'm an optimistic person and all that. But, and I'm a social guy, too. Like, when I lived here in Ackworth, I had a big social life. And then when I moved to Atlanta, like, it went literally from 100 to 0. And it sucked. And I'm a super extrovert.
Yeah.
And so I like legit got sad and I got depressed. And I was like, dude, this isn't for me. I need to do something with my life. And then my niece was born, and I just kept thinking, most of my friends had 9-to-5s, and I just kept thinking, dude, I'm never going to even see my niece grow up, and she'll probably have like school events or sports games on the weekends I will never be able to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I changed my mind. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go back to school. I want to try to score a 9-to-5. Like, I don't care what people say. Like, the naysayers, like, oh, screw 9-to-5s. I was like, no, screw it. I want that. Like, I legit want that.
Yeah.
So that was the main reason why I moved back and started going back to school. And no, I'm honestly happy. I just, now that I'm in school, I'm like, I just want to fucking graduate.
I know. Yeah. Yep. I did the same thing. I was like, I want to go back. Like, I actually kind of missed being in school because I really like it. I like learning new things, studying. I love studying.
I like learning new things.
Yeah.
I will say, yeah.
I don't like tests. If I could like study, have some like motivation to study for something, but not like have the pressure of being tested on it, like that would be great.
I
like if I could just audit a bunch of classes, then I think that would be really interesting. So I was ready to go back, and then once I was in there, I was like, this is a lot, and I was ready to be done. I was like, really, because I had like a 9-to-5 job before that for 2 years, and I was like, I miss school, I'm gonna do that again. And then I did it again, and I was like, okay, I really miss my job now. And so
is dietitian a 9-to-5 kind of?
Yeah. It is. You don't really have people on the night shift. Usually, people can wait till breakfast.
Yeah. Like, I mean, have you done like a night shift? Like, is it, sure, it's not a thing kind of, but like rare occasions is it a thing?
I don't know. Not at any hospital that I have been at, and it was not during my internship. Some places might have that. I know if you work in the kitchen, you have to get there like super early, so it's less 9-to-5 and more like 5 to 7 or whatever. Like, it's just super long hours because you have to do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You have to be there really early to get things ready. So, like, I did have to go in super early during my internship because I had to have, like, a theme meal, and I had to go in and help, like, the kitchen people prepare it and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, pretty much it's 9 to 5. You have to hop in on the weekend sometimes because I was actually talking about this in the car on the way over here. Like, people are just as sick on the weekends as they are on a weekday. You know, like, just because it's a weekend doesn't mean you're any less critically ill.
Yeah.
And so, like, everybody,
they're taking a break.
Yeah, all hospital specialties still need to be there on the weekend.
Yeah.
Which you just don't really think about necessarily because you're like, oh, it's Saturday, Sunday, it's the weekend. Like, you expect there to be like less staff, and there's like 15 dietitians ish, and then on the weekend there's like 2 or 3 to cover like the whole hospital. So you're not covering your specialty, you're just doing consults that come in, so it's like more urgent. But yeah, people are still just as sick on the weekends, so you still have to go.
Who knew?
I know.
Who figured?
I know, it's funny when you think about it, but so we like rotate out to do that. But
oh man, that's hilarious. Do like now this just popped into my head. Do you have any dark humor jokes? Hospital dark humor jokes?
Oh yeah, we have a lot in the hospital. We just joke a lot about. I don't think it would be a good idea if I shared it.
All right, after the show, you gotta share
after the show, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, we joke about it a lot, so.
Yeah, no, I
you kind of have to. You know, you have to like get on that side of it.
Yeah.
Because some of it's really terrible.
Oh yeah, I mean,
So you have to have that like guard up to a degree.
Yeah, exactly. It's not to make light of the thing. It's just like, dude, we need a laugh in some
Yeah,
ways. Like
yeah.
not at somebody else's expense. It's just like, yo,
You
my
have to like
spirit's breaking.
see the humor in darker times.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. And it's funny because I've worked at a restaurant my whole life,
Mhm.
and you know, there's always been like, just dark humor jokes there,
Mhm.
and I've done a little bit of theater. There's dark humor there, and then I remember seeing this one post like, oh man, the dark humor behind a kitchen line, and then they showed a picture of like two EMTs in the back of an ambulance. It was like, oh bitch, please, and I'm like,
Mhm.
it gets darker.
Yeah.
Like I want to know. So we'll get into that later. All right. So you mentioned earlier that growing up you were like a garbage disposal.
I
You
was,
ate just about
yes.
anything.
Yes.
And now you're a vegan.
Yeah.
All right. So
Mostly plant-based. Yeah.
okay, I don't know shit about vegans. All I know is they don't touch anything that involves animals. So
Sure. Yeah.
all right. So you used to be a garbage disposal. Now you're a vegan.
Yes.
And right now, I got like two of my friends gonna watch this, and they're laughing their ass off right now because I have so many vegan jokes. But, anyways, so what made you want to be a vegan?
Oh my gosh.
We'll get into it later.
Okay, so I went through kind of a phase where I didn't really like. So I was a garbage disposal, but to a degree. So I didn't like anything on a bone, like ribs or wings.
What?
I know.
I'm gonna try to be professional.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways,
I was warned about this. I know you like your wings and everything.
and my ribs.
I know. I didn't like anything on a bone because you get like the little veins, and it's like I hate it. I even thinking about it.
Okay.
I just don't like it. And so like even if I ate those things, like my dad would like cut it off the bone for me. And like when you get a big chunk of meat and you have like the cartilage in there, freaks me out. I don't like the fat on meat, so I always ate like if I had a steak like this much in the very middle.
Yeah.
Because I like didn't want any like I was really picky when it came to meat.
Okay.
And so it was just easier for me to say, like in high school, I cut out red meat. And that left, like turkey sandwiches and stuff. And so then when I would go over to people's houses, it was just easier to say, like, I'm vegetarian so that if they made ribs, I didn't have to be like, ew. And then after all that, in college, I figured out I don't actually like the flavor of meat. I like the flavor of barbecue sauce. And so I was like, maybe I should try just not eating meat because I'm only dousing it in all these sauces. Like I'm hiding the flavor intentionally because I don't actually like it. So I went vegetarian. So where like 90% of vegans are like, I am in it for the animals. Not saying I'm not. It's a perk. But I mostly did it because I just don't like meat. I realized. And then I kind of was seeing the health benefits of it. So like you could eat a plate full of French fries and mac and cheese and be a vegetarian. But because I was just so into the nutrition, I just really love vegetables. I just love them so much. And so I felt better cutting out the dairy. It was just like, it just fit easier with my lifestyle.
Yeah.
So.
Damn.
I know.
Like hell would freeze over. My friends would like legit admit me to a hospital if I just woke up one day and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna cut out meat.
Yeah, I made a comment.
I'd be like, what?
Last time I saw you, I made a comment about cauliflower wings. There was like a little awkward silence in the air for a minute.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was the 4th of July.
Like, did I just like
you say cauliflower wing?
Push a button, I think.
What? No. Because I remember seeing, like, okay, so I follow these guys on YouTube called Buff Dudes, and I bought one of their books, and a really good, like, workout regimen, and they have some nutrition stuff, and one of their thumbnails on their video, like, they'll put, like, food recipes, was, like, it was cauliflower buffalo wings, and I was like, wait, what? And I, like, clicked on it, and the thumbnail legit, because they smeared it in buffalo sauce, looked like wings.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, you can make wings healthy? I'm into this. Let me watch this. And it was just cauliflower
It's just
chopped up
cauliflower.
and
Yeah.
with buffalo sauce. I was like, you freaking liars. And
Real bait and
so
switch.
like I was so disappointed. But no, I couldn't do that. You said cauliflower wings. I was like, I knew
You were
then.
like,
I was like,
what?
no.
Yeah. I have a thing with chicken wings. We don't have to get into it, but I do.
No, let's get into it. Wait, what?
I have a thing with chicken wings because I hate when they're wasted.
Mm-hmm.
Because that chickie only has so many little wings, right? And then people just
super chicken.
like, you just see one on the floor and you're like, that chicken only had like a couple of wings to give and one of them is just laying on the floor.
Yeah.
It just is so wasteful. Like, if I were the ghost of a chicken, like, that would be enough. You know how ghosts like stick around when they have like unfinished business?
Yeah.
That would be enough to make me like not pass on to the chicken afterlife. I would haunt the
like
restaurant.
Somebody needs to eat those wings.
Because my arm is laying on the ground totally unappreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And people order like a tray of like 50 wings and then like waste half of them.
Oh, see,
I just think it's a flawed system.
Yeah.
It should be handled better.
No, man, I hate to agree with you, but I do. My thing is, I mean, thank God I grew up with awesome parents and awesome people around me that I just learned not only the value of $1, but also the value of food, not to let any food go to waste. I, to this day, really haven't thrown any food away except for fruits, like when I moved out and I didn't know like the expiration dates on fruits and stuff. So that I don't feel bad, but I've never thrown away meat. I've never been those people, and I know those people that will order like, oh yeah, 20 wings, I could eat a lot. They'll eat 3 and they're like, do you want a to-go box? Nah, I just don't want this.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
what?
So like, I am not a like judgy plant-based eater. Like, if you're eating a burger, like, in no way is that impacting my life, you know? Like, it's not like offending me or anything. Like, I understand that people have different choices, and I even have patients ask me like if I think they should go vegetarian or vegan. Like, I think when I get out of here, I want to go vegetarian, and I don't actually always recommend it because it's difficult, and if I don't feel like they have the ability to like do the planning and the preparation that goes with it, like, it's going to be unhealthy for them, and they're going to come back with nutrient deficiencies. And so like, I don't actually always recommend veganism and vegetarianism for everybody. But I just hate when like the animal is like disrespected, you know?
Oh,
like,
even meat eaters hate that though.
Yeah, that's true. Well, some, not
some,
everybody.
yeah.
But like, if you're gonna like kill the cow and eat it, like, at least like make it good.
Like, mainly hunters, like those who hunt for their
hunting.
food. I want to get into it.
No, I hate it when people pose with the deer head. Like,
I want.
No,
I
that's
want.
a thing.
I've never hunted, never did it, but I watched this one video and one podcast with people talking about it. I want to try it once just to see if I would like it, and if I don't like it, I don't like it. But I want to try it once.
It's unfair. I mean,
how's that unfair?
You're hunting this animal that does not see you coming from a long way away.
No, dude, they have great
weapons.
sense. I
feel like if you're gonna kill a deer, it should be a fair fight. So like,
what do you
go
mean a fair
at
fight?
it with your hands. Like, don't go like a mile away with some like super cool gun and like where it has 0 chance of survival.
Okay, yeah, but it's more humane. Because they're not like pumping it full of lead. They're taking their time to get that one shot. I've seen this one video where a beginner, somebody who's never killed a deer, and this veteran, he was like guiding him.
Yeah.
And they saw a deer, and but before they were out in the wilderness, they were practicing shooting a paper, and he was telling him how, no, like, even though we're carrying like 10 rounds, you gotta be in that mindset, like, you got only 1 round. Like, you gotta make it count. You gotta make it. You need to be able to put it out really quickly, and so they're humane in that way. I want to be trained in that. I want somebody to take me under their wings and try that. But
I mean, I guess there's like ways to go about it that would make me less angry.
Yeah.
But like,
I'll go hunting, but I won't post it.
Yeah,
but I will
just
post
don't
it
tell
because
me.
I'm gonna be super happy about it.
Just like don't let me know.
Okay, I got you. I'll try to. Yeah, I won't tag you.
Just
I
tell
won't
me
be an
you went
asshole
like
tag you.
foraging.
Huh?
Foraging, right? For like mushrooms or something.
I hate mushrooms.
I do too, actually.
Oh,
We have that in common. They're really cool though. I want to like them.
no.
There's like several foods that I really want to like, and I always try and eat them.
I've tried
because
them
I'm like,
so many
this
times.
time I'm gonna like it, and
Yeah.
I just never do.
Yeah.
And mushrooms is one of them.
I worked for Bone Steakhouse, like one of the top restaurants in Georgia, and their mushrooms, like these, like I don't know what they're called, but I think they're like mini portobello mushrooms. I don't know, but it's like expensive mushrooms, and even I couldn't like them. I was just like, no.
Yeah, I mean, there's some that I've tried that are better than others, like wild mushrooms. That kind of flavor profile is better, but it's also like a
I just don't like the
thing with
texture.
me.
Yeah. It's not even the taste, really. Like, I mean, the taste doesn't add to it. It's just it's really the texture.
Help.
It's the same thing with like I don't like Jell-O.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's weird. I just don't like the
Jell-O
texture.
is not vegan. Did you know that?
Yeah, because it's made out of horse hooves.
Yeah, the collagen.
I learned that in the 10th grade, and everybody in class, the teacher, she was a vegetarian, and she mentioned that, and everybody was like, "Wait, what?" And then she showed us a video how it's made, and we're like, "What?" Like she was like, "It's made out of horse hoof," and we're like, "Liar! Horse hooves are hard and stuff. Yeah. Jell-O is soft." And yeah.
Yep, it's the gelatin. You can get plant-based Jell-O.
You can't? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, it's made with
Not that I'm ever going to. I don't like gelatin. I don't like gelatin.
Yeah, because of the texture.
Yeah. But anyway, so with like, okay, so with being a vegan, it's cool that you're not the judgy type, because we know stereotypes there. Okay, you're not the judgy type, but are you the, I'm gonna bring it up unprompted, like we're talking about a movie.
You're just like talking about movies and you're like, by the way, I'm a vegan.
I'm a vegan.
No. Definitely not. Or at least I don't think I am. I might be, I don't know.
I have that superpower, like give me whatever and I'll be able to bring it up no matter what. I had this joke saying, like, if I was an Olympian and I won a gold medal, I would brag about it. I'm sorry, I would. Yeah. I would bring up the fact that I won a gold medal in situations where it didn't call for it. It's like, hey, dude, can you take me to the hospital? Yeah, no, I got you. I remember when I got injured when I was training for the Olympics and I got my gold medal. You remember my gold medal, right? Here it is, and all that stuff. I wanted somebody to take care of me, so I'm going to take care of you, you know?
There was a girl in my college dorm who did that, but with being a lesbian.
Oh, God, that's like, the worst one.
Everything was just like, I mean, I'm gay, so we're like, that's cool, we know. But
hey,
like,
do you want to get some chicken wings?
Literally,
well, I'm gay,
every time.
Yeah.
One time I was having a conversation with my roommate, but like our door was open, you know, like socializing and all that. And she walked by, popped her head in, because I guess she overheard something with our conversation, totally unrelated to your sexual orientation, and like dropped that she was lesbian. And we were just like, what?
Hey, I'm gay.
And then she just left, and we're just like speechless. We're like, what just happened? She was like that all the time. It's funny.
Man, someone's gonna take this out of context. I just said the phrase "I'm gay," so someone's gonna take that out of context. Okay, so you're not that type. Good.
No,
no.
Or at least I don't think I am. I try not to be.
You say so much, it blocks out. Like, it's your part of everyday speech. It's like, I don't think I do. It's like, you do. Like, no, you don't. From the moments we've hung out, like you've never done it. Especially because Steven told us, so I was just like, he made it sound like, hey, by the way, she's a vegan, so.
And even when I was like not being vegan, just vegetarian, or just trying to choose like healthier things in general, like I hate when people like go out of their way for me, and so I always bring my own food anyways. Like you saw, I brought snacks with me, like which I was upset actually. Those granola bars I bought have milk in them, and I didn't know because they're just fig bars, so I was kind of disappointed in Trader Joe's on that one. But but I always bring my own stuff. So like even when I go just visit my family, like my dad, I've been plant-based for years, going on like 8 years now, and I still bring my own like coffee creamer and snacks in the car, and I bring my own produce because a lot of people just don't eat fruits and vegetables, or if they do, it's like in a casserole. And so I always like come prepared, because that way other people don't have to worry about like everyone's eating this thing except for Meaghan.
But does it suck sometimes? Like, do you sometimes have that mood where, oh man, I wish I didn't have to bring all this thing?
Yeah, it does a little bit sometimes, especially because, like, it's nice when someone cooks a meal for you. You
Yeah.
know, like a home-cooked meal. There's something about it. And, like, it's hard to get that if you aren't surrounded by other plant-based people
Mm-hmm.
because they just aren't used to cooking like that.
Yeah.
Like, their home-cooked meal is, like, a roast and mashed potatoes made with, like, cream and butter and all this stuff. And so it's like you want that, like, cozy, kind of, like, heartfelt offering, but at the same time, you're like, I can't eat that.
Yeah.
So.
See, and see, I'm glad you said that because that's exactly like why I've always joked, but like not really kidding. I just always said it in a funny way where like I couldn't date a vegan girl because I'm an amateur cook. I'm not. I'm if I was a skilled chef where like I can think of a vegan dish and not have it be a problem. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not. I'm an amateur, and so I'm like I love cooking for my girl. I want to be able to not think twice about it. Maybe on things, obviously, if she's allergic to something, but be able to be like, all right, let me, cook us both some steak or both some chicken or fish and stuff. And, but yeah, like the last girl I dated, not knocking her or anything. I don't like talking shit about my exes, but she only ate chicken. Mm-hmm. And it was fine for a while, but every now and then it did get kind of boring just for me. Where I'm like, oh, I'm tired of cooking chicken. I want to be able to cook steak and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't even about like, oh, I wouldn't want to date a vegan. I wouldn't want to date somebody who's like super picky, Yeah. And I mean, that's with anybody. But yeah,
I would be the same way though about somebody who's like crazy picky because I like trying new things. Yeah. Like I will one day for dinner cook something with a Mexican vibe and the next day cook some sort of like Indian curry. Like nice. I like to eat all kinds of different things and try new things and go to restaurants. I like all of it. So like someone who's just like meat and potatoes would be difficult. Yeah. Because you can't share that. Yeah. And if it's like a big part of something you love, you want to like share it with somebody. So.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like you've already didn't, you like certain parts of the meat, but you weren't like fond of it as you were growing up. Yeah. So when you made the decision to be a vegetarian and then eventually a vegan, did you ever relapse? Did you ever like
Actually, okay, so I always say I have a fat soul, and so I really like pizza and burgers and nachos. Like, I love all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I like the whole food version of it now that I know more. Yeah. And so there was one point after, like, years where I was, like, for some reason, I always wanted barbecue, like a pulled pork sandwich or something. Like, that kind of stuff I always really wanted still. But I never, like, ate it. I did have the occasional crab legs because if I went to the beach, really loved crab legs. But now I'm, like, really aware that I'm, like, cracking a leg in half when I'm doing it, and I can't have them anymore. So.
I can imagine you going like, you know what, screw being vegan for this weekend. We're at the beach. All right. You know what? No.
And that's kind of what happened. Like, everything else, still plant-based, everything. It's just the occasional plate of crab legs, like once a year at the beach. But, like, literally, as I was eating it, I was like, this is a leg. And
you have to hand it off to somebody, be like, hey, crack it for me real quick.
I couldn't after that, and I have not had crab legs since then.
No.
Yeah, it
so
really
how long
ruined
ago
it
was
for me.
that?
A couple years.
A couple years ago?
Yeah.
Damn.
So that was difficult, but I forgot what your original question was because I got distracted by
Did you ever relapse?
Yeah. There was one point where somebody was eating a burger, and I had a veggie burger, and I love a veggie burger. Like, I would probably, even if I decided, like, right now, like, no longer vegan, I would probably still choose a veggie burger over a regular one just because I really love veggie burgers.
Well, that's good.
But they were eating a regular burger, and it smelled so good, and I was like, maybe this is my body telling me that I need meat again. So I was like, I'm going to try a bite, Because I don't believe in, like, being overly restrictive unnecessarily. Yeah. So if you feel like...
Especially you don't have a health restriction kind of thing.
Yeah. And so if you feel like your diet that you're following is being unnecessarily restrictive, like, why do it, Unless it's, like, for a medical reason. And so I took a bite of the burger and I couldn't even swallow it. I had to spit it out. It was like too weird for me. Like my mouth is weird right now just thinking about it.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and so I like spit it out, and that was the only time.
Well, see, that's it. You know, for you, that's a good thing because now, you know, you had that moment where you're just like, you know, maybe an occasional, but like your body legit is like, no, we can't do this.
Yeah.
So now you don't even have that craving.
Mm-mm.
Like you thought you did for that moment, but now you tried.
And that was like 6 years ago or something like that. And I have not had any like desire for beef or chicken or any of that.
Oh man. What about fish? Like salmon?
I didn't eat a lot of fish before because I didn't like it.
Okay.
I really only liked crab and shrimp and sometimes like a tilapia or something. So like a few years I was more like pescatarian and would like if I went to like some restaurant that was supposed to have like really good seafood, I would maybe order a fish. Like I went to Pampas and can't like just order a salad at Pampas. And so like I got some fish there. But in the last like couple years, hardly nothing. But I would sometimes get, or like sushi. I really liked sushi. So I would get like shrimp in my sushi or something like that.
Yeah.
But then a doctor told me I was supposedly allergic to shellfish.
What? And
so I stopped eating it after that anyways. So.
Are you?
It was like a big thing with allergies. No, I'm not.
And then why say it?
She told me I was allergic to a lot of other stuff too. Because I had this big like allergic face rash thing. And so I got allergy tested and the test was kind of wonky. And she was like, it's not really the best test, but I'm pretty sure you're allergic to all this stuff. And so I was like, okay. So I cut it out of my diet. And then I found out earlier this year, I think, that I'm not actually allergic to anything.
Wow.
And I stopped eating all that stuff for years. And I was like,
I mean, you're vegan, which is fine, but like I want to kill myself for saying that phrase. You're a vegan, which is fine.
I know, I let it slide. Kidding. I heard it and I let it slide.
But yeah, like you're not going to have shrimp anyways, but
yeah.
It's
the
just
other
a principle.
things she told me I was allergic to were bananas and avocado. Do you know how difficult it is to go out and dine as a person on a plant-based diet and have to avoid bananas and avocado? Really put a damper in my smoothie game.
Yeah. Like a freaking guac. You can have a guac, right?
Now I can.
Yeah.
I didn't for years. And now I can.
Hey, Megan, you want some guac? No, apparently I'm allergic to it.
And my family would always forget. And so they'd make like banana pudding and stuff and be like, look, Megan, or I made a vegan banana bread. And I'm like, still can't have it.
Oh, I can't have it. Apparently I'm allergic to it.
Yep.
Dude, that sucks. Oh my God.
No, it was a rough like 4 years that I had to cut that out.
So what is something people misconstrued about being a vegan?
That it's kind of like uppity, you know, or like it's expensive or difficult.
Oh wow, okay, now you surprised me. I'm thinking, see, difficult. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I still think it's difficult. Well,
it's just
mainly because of me.
People.
Like when I think about it for me, I'm not thinking about it like for the masses. I think about it for me.
Yeah.
But expensive. I've been led to believe like it's pretty expensive,
and it can be. So if you buy like
same with meats, like
exactly.
with I buy steaks and stuff, and there's choice or prime meat, and prime meat's expensive, but the quality's there, and then choice meat's just like whatever.
Yeah, so you can have like an Impossible burger with the vegan cheese and like the vegan specialty like $8 pack of buns, like with all of the expensive brand sauces on it. Like you can easily make yourself like a $40 veggie burger, or you can have a bowl with like brown rice and beans, like a can of beans, black beans, you know, and like just some sauce that you can even just like whip up, like a bottle of teriyaki sauce or something, you know, and throw in buy like a zucchini and some broccoli, saute it up, put it in your pan.
It's sounding pretty good.
You're talking like $5, you know, for this meal that's arguably more nutritious than this $40 veggie burger you just made. And so people think it's expensive. And also if you go out to a restaurant, like the plant-based meals are sometimes more. And so it just has that like rep. And if you're walking through the grocery store and it's like new vegan item, it's like $20. and you're overlooking that the whole the aisle, like 90% of the aisle of like rice and beans is also vegan.
Yeah, yeah.
And so there's a lot of stuff that's naturally vegan that's not advertised as vegan.
That's true.
That is much cheaper than the stuff that's like vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, and has all the labels on it.
Yeah.
They probably have to pay for those labels, which makes their price go up.
Yeah. It's like I've learned that with organic, that there are some foods that it's not really organic, but it's like semantics, but it's like kind of organic and kind of not, but they pay to have
the organic label.
Yeah.
And there's some foods that don't honestly need to be organic. So there's a list out there called the Dirty Dozen, and it's like the 12 top, I guess, fruits and vegetables that are most like laden with pesticides and whatnot. And so it's better to choose those as organic. But not everything. You don't have to have organic everything just to like eat a healthy diet. So for me, if it's like something where you eat the outside of it, I'll get it organic. Just from like a sanitary kind of standpoint. Yeah. But you can still be totally nutritious with a regular apple versus an organic apple.
Yeah. No, I went apple picking years ago, and with those apples, you know, like no pesticide, nothing, like completely organic, like you're picking them off the tree. I will say there is a difference with that and the ones that you buy at like, you know, Publix and stuff. There is a difference, but I mean, call it me being biased, whatever. It's not enough difference to make me go like, oh, I'm only buying something that's super organic versus not.
And also like commercial grown versus like locally grown are two completely different things, organic or not. Yeah. You know, there's a lot that goes into commercially grown produce to make them pretty and sustainable and be able to travel for a long time and be stored for a long time. Like they are like heavily engineered sometimes to be like the perfect product. As like if you were to go apple picking and pull it off the tree, like it might not last quite as long because it doesn't have the same work put into it.
Yeah. And that's my thing. It's like, I mean, I would like to hear somebody, you know, like have like a mini debate with me. I don't think there's anything wrong with a little bit artificial, like, you know, just as long as it's like not compromising in health. Because even though like I'll joke and say like, oh, I'm not really a healthy guy, I still think about my health. I don't want to be like, I don't want to deliberately be unhealthy. Like, oh, here's this, you know, a good healthy option, here's a super bad option. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, let me take the super bad option because fuck my health. No, like I only have one body, so but at the same time, I don't think there's anything wrong with something that's commercially grown, just as long as, again, it's still healthy. It's not as healthy, but it's not going to kill you, kind of thing.
Yeah. So I have this book called Eating on the Wild Side, and it kind of talks about how far our food now has come from its original ancestors, and some of it is beneficial and some of it is not. And I can see that. I worked with the past president of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics for a while, and she's really passionate that like GMO is not a bad thing because it makes it more accessible. Sometimes it makes the nutrients more readily absorbable. Like there's benefits to it. And there's a lot of things that we eat now where if it wasn't genetically modified, like we wouldn't probably be able to eat it. Yeah. And this book basically says that like right now you have your carrot full of nutrients and everything. The ancestor of that is like a little scraggly root that comes from like Afghanistan or something, which the nutrient composition of both of them is totally different. And like the original banana is like, you can't even like peel it. You have to like get a knife to get into it. And like the seeds are really big and inedible. And it's just like, you just can't eat it, you know? So some of the genetic modification has happened to make things more palatable so that you're able to actually get to the nutrients.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So be honest. What is something that you might see or hear regarding health that you just roll your eyes at, like, oh,
keto?
Keto?
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
I have regrets about saying that so quickly. So I don't recommend it. Being a cardiac dietitian.
What is keto? I remember hearing about it like online. is it a plant?
Keto is basically, do you know what the Atkins diet is?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So keto is like a kind of diet. Like you do like a low carb diet or a Mediterranean diet or something like that. It's a ketogenic diet. And the name I think comes from probably the ketones that form when you cut out the carbohydrates.
Okay, so keto is not like, it's not a food or anything.
No, it's
I don't know why I kept thinking it was like a plant. Like
no,
every
it's
time
like
I
an
saw
adjective basically.
Gotcha.
It's a ketogenic diet. And there's like two kinds really. The like original ketogenic diet is actually used for like medical nutrition therapy. So it's used to help treat epilepsy in children. Is like the true ketogenic diet. The one that everybody says that they're doing is more of like a modified Atkins diet, which is just like low carb basically, but like to the extreme. And so like a real keto diet is like you have to, it involves a lot of math and counting. It's like a 4-to-1 ratio of fat to non-fat calories. And so like the vast majority of your diet comes from fat. Fun fact, an avocado is naturally ketogenic.
Yeah.
It's at that 4-to-1 ratio already.
Yeah,
so an avocado
I hear, like,
is a perfect
avocado
keto
is a
food.
healthy fat kind of thing.
Yeah. And so it's all fat. And it actually, like, I did a rotation at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta with the Keto Dietician who works with these children with epilepsy and puts them on a true, like, very regimented ketogenic diet. And it actually, like, stops their epileptic seizures.
Oh, nice.
It's really cool. And it has, like, permanent effects. So they can be on this diet for just, like, a few years and then stop. And they have, like, permanent, like, reduction in their seizures.
That's awesome.
It's really cool. And then everybody else goes and takes it and just thinks it's like a casserole of like bacon and cream cheese and putting some pork on top.
What?
And that's what they think is a keto diet. And it's just because you're cutting out carbs, right? In a modified keto diet.
Yeah.
And so you're just eating meat and high fat dairy. So like choosing heavy cream over like a 2% milk, which angers me a little bit. And it's just
why?
Because it's just against everything that everybody has always said is healthy. And they're doing it for weight loss. It's just like not sustainable, and there's a time and a place for it because I mean it is like it's a real thing, a ketogenic diet.
Yeah.
But I think any sort of diet where you are restricting yourself from certain food groups is not ideal because every food group brings its own nutrients. And so if you're doing a keto diet where all you eat is like meat and cheese and like cauliflower because it's so low in carbs, then like you're missing all the nutrients that like fruit brings to the table. Like you're just omitting that completely. And it's just really high in saturated fat, and it's just like bad for your heart and your arteries and your gallbladder, and it can be very damaging. I know someone who had to get their gallbladder removed because they're doing keto.
Oh, because they're doing keto.
Yeah, because it's just so high in fat that it's really damaging if you do it for long enough.
I did not know this about keto. Like honestly, I don't know anything about keto. I just saw that it was like the new fad. People are doing it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a plant thing. But that being said, why? Okay, because now I'm feeling like you. Why are people? What makes you think? I know you don't have the answer probably, but what makes you think that this fad took off the way it did? Like, why are people going like, oh man, this keto diet's working?
Because it can make you lose weight. Because if you go back to like
really with high fats and stuff like that.
Yes, because you're cutting out other things that you were eating before. So even if you hadn't like shifted all the way to the fat side of things and just reduced the things that needed to be reduced, then you would still have lost weight. But if you think like weight gain comes from like eating anything in excess, right? And so like what do people eat most in excess? Carbs. Yeah. So I love carbs. I'm all for them.
I mean,
but like
I just don't. I don't know. This like maybe you can shed some light on my ignorance here. I don't think carbs is that bad. Like,
no, I love them, and like patients always get so scared when I come in and tell them
like I'll have a sandwich or my breakfast usually consists of 2 eggs, 3 slices of turkey bacon, and 2 slices of toast. Like I don't see anything wrong with
You
having some
need
bread.
carbs.
Yeah.
Like that's like the main source of glucose to power your brain. Like you need them. They're good for you. And like for these children who are on ketogenic diets, like their blood sugar is so low, it has to be like really closely managed to make sure it doesn't get too low. And then like their body goes into ketosis basically and creates like a new source of fuel. It's like a whole thing. But like my patients always get so scared when I come into the room and tell them that we have to talk about like a diabetic diet because they think I'm going to tell them that they can't eat carbs anymore.
Yeah.
Specifically grapes. I don't know why everybody thinks they can't eat grapes, but every person is like, you're here to tell me I can't have grapes, huh? And I'm like, no. I love them. I love carbs. People also always think I'm going to tell them they can't drink coffee anymore. I don't know why, but I'm like, I would never tell you can't drink coffee, and I will never tell you that you can't have dessert every now and then because I'm not going to stop doing those things. And so I'm not going to tell you to. But it's just people eat it in excess.
Yeah.
And so cutting back on that and doing like a low carb diet, you lose weight because you're cutting back on that. So just naturally you're losing weight.
Yeah.
And so like the keto diet is essentially like a modified low carb diet, but like more extreme. But it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
So once you go back to eating carbs, you gain the weight back because you kind of like go to like a binging kind of side of things.
I mean, I was not like ever going to do keto, but just hearing that now what you've done, and I'm glad, is now if any of my friends starts talking about keto, I'm going to refer them to this video, but at the same time I'll be like, no, my friend Meaghan like went into great details about why keto is not. Oh man, I did not know that.
I've had another patient who had to come in and have heart surgery. She coincidentally had been following the keto diet for about 6 months before coming in. When I talked to her, she said, I've never had any heart issues before, like until now. I don't know what's happening. She was following the super keto diet. Are you doing keto?
Yes, that's why.
Yeah, and so because it's just fat on fat on fat, and it's just really hard on your heart.
So, like, taking away from keto for a second, because you mentioned it's it's cutting out excess and stuff like that, the extremes. So, like, even with somebody dieting, like if you heard any of your friends or seen it on TV or whatnot, any diet that somebody cuts out excess amount, say like which the common is sugar or salt.
Yeah.
Is that also bad?
No, because there's a difference between a healthy diet and a restrictive diet.
Yeah.
And so cutting back on things that you are eating in excess can be healthy. It's when you restrict healthy things that it gets bad. And so what some diets do is they restrict things that are actually beneficial for you. And that's when it's like frowned upon. But if you're like, I eat 12 donuts every day for breakfast, you could probably cut back on that and kind of refocus
Blasphemy.
On a regular, like a healthy, balanced diet.
Yeah.
So.
And that's a good point. So, like, okay, this is me. Ignorant me. I was led to believe that, yes, like there's healthy sugar in things like fruits and stuff like that, but like you don't really need white sugar, brown sugar. Like, yeah, you can use that as an ingredient in cooking, but you really don't need it.
Sure.
Mind commenting on that?
So, basically, once it's absorbed in your body, sugar is sugar. So I always tell my patients, salt is salt, because they try and bring in like, what about Himalayan salt? And what about rock salt? And what about all this stuff? Salt is salt, sugar is sugar. But certain sugars come with other benefits. And so white sugar is just straight up sugar. But if you eat a bowl of berries, you also get antioxidants, phytonutrients, fiber, all kinds of other stuff that is beneficial for you. And it's natural sugar. And so if you eat just, like I always use apple versus apple juice as an example with my patients. If you drink a glass of apple juice, there's nothing to slow it down, right? It's just sugar water, basically. And by that point, a lot of the nutrients have probably been pulled out of it. But if you eat, so it will shoot your blood sugar right up because there's nothing to slow it down. You drink it, it's absorbed, your blood sugar spikes. An apple has fiber in it, which slows things down when it gets to your digestive tract, because it takes some work to break down fiber. And so the sugar is more slowly absorbed in your body and causes your blood sugar to go up more slowly. So instead of like spiking, it's more of like a roller coaster. So you can have like refined sugars, like the white sugar, that is just going to spike your blood sugar. But if you eat it in something that has other benefits to go with it, then...
So like as an ingredient.
Yeah. So you could use white sugar. I'm trying to think. The things you're going to put white sugar in are not going to be great for you. Like, you're not going to put white sugar in something necessarily that has like a ton of fiber and stuff in it. But if you did, it would soften the blow a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, specifically, I don't know. I know the word fiber, but I don't know what fiber, like, I can't define it.
Yeah, so fiber is basically like, if you think like animals have bones, plants have fiber. And so it's like structural.
Oh, okay.
And it can't really be like, there's a couple different kinds of fiber. It can't really be broken down. It's good for your GI tract. And like I said, helps your blood sugar. It can lower your cholesterol. It has a bunch of stuff. But basically, it's like the structure of a plant. Like what gives it form.
So it's the equivalent of a bone. That's
Pretty
why you brought it. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So that being said, did see somebody use like, it was brown sugar though, as a recipe for like, for green beans, like a sauce that they're making with green beans. So like that being said, because green beans is a vegetable and has fibers, so that's something maybe right there where you're putting sugar in the ingredients, but
right,
fibers.
If you were comparing it to like brown sugar alone versus brown sugar with green beans, that one's going to be better because your blood sugar won't spike quite as much. It's still the same sugar content, but in terms of like blood sugar control, it would be a little easier on your body.
Okay, so like manageable, but
it's still not going to be like great for you.
Because I know what you mean by spiking. Like this is gonna sound dumb, but like I get it. Is when dealing with audio. So like when I edit and stuff, like so when I slate before we started, it's a loud, sharp sound.
Exactly,
it's really quick
like
and it spikes, and then that's it. Like you can't do anything. But like if I'm talking softly and I get like louder and louder, you see a wave, but you can manage it.
Yeah.
So I get that in the sense with blood sugar. Wow. But damn, that's scary. Before I just thought keto, like looking back at keto, I was just like, whatever, I guess.
Yeah,
it's a new
and I'm
fad.
very like passionate about it, so I might have made it sound worse than it is.
No, but
like,
I mean, for reasons, because like again, this is black and white. You're burdened with knowledge. Me, I see it as a trend. I'm like, whatever. Vegan and vegetarian was a trend as well, and I roll my eyes at it, like not knowing. But there are, even though like I joke around with vegans and stuff like that, there are health benefits to it. But with keto, I'm thinking the same thing. Oh, there's health benefits, but it's whatever. But you being vegan and also like you being a dietitian, the ins and outs, and so you're just like, no, this is pretty
and one
unhealthy.
thing that I feel really strongly about is making it like easy and accessible. So like everybody tries to do like juice cleanses and like a soup cleanse or a smoothie cleanse. Or like try and like, I have to be super incredibly healthy now. It's like all or nothing. And it doesn't really have to be like that. And so that's why all those fad diets, I'm just like, you just have to eat a balanced meal. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I always tell my patients to just focus on colors. So instead of trying to figure out, like, have you ever heard of My Plate?
Sounds familiar.
It's like the new food pyramid.
Is it the one where it shows you the plate and
and it's got like the colors. Yeah. So half of your plate should be like non-starchy fruits and vegetables. The other half of your plate is divided in between like carbs and protein. And then you have like dairy hanging out over in the corner. And so like that's like the gist of how you should structure your plate. And then just to keep it like as simple as possible, like just focus on your colors. If you have a plate that's totally beige, it's going to be like fried chicken, mashed potatoes, rice. Like that's really standard. That's a standard meal for somebody. And there's not a whole lot of nutrients in it. Whereas if you had like some red and some green, it's probably going to come from fruits and vegetables. And so I always just tell them to like try to get as many colors on their plate as they can. And a lot of them that clicks a little bit better.
Yeah, that was clicking for me as you were explaining it. What about those people? I don't like my food touching each other.
Then you can put little dividers between the colors. You can have the
God.
colors on different plates.
I hear that so many times. Like, I don't like my food touching each other. I'm like, you're not hungry.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, I'm just like, bam,
Yeah.
bam,
Just like mix
bam.
it all in a big
Oh,
bowl.
God. And Thanksgiving's coming up. Oh, man. I can't wait. Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday.
It used to be my favorite holiday. And I really like it still. But
What's your
like
favorite holiday?
Christmas.
I want to hit you so bad. I want to throw my glass at you.
I just love
How
the
are you
vibe.
gonna? No. Now I get a rant for a little bit.
Okay.
No, all right. I love Thanksgiving. I remember years ago people were saying like, "Oh, Christmas is a dying holiday." No, it's not. It's Thanksgiving. Why? Because no disrespect to Halloween, Halloween's overrated. Yeah, I said it.
I love Halloween.
I like Halloween. It's overrated as fuck. So whatever. Anyways, so
Just gonna breeze right past that. Okay.
yeah. I really am. But like we'll talk about it. But it literally goes like as soon as it's September, people are already in the Halloween spirit, and people will joke, "Oh, I'm in the Halloween spirit all year round." Whatever. I hate you too. But anyway, so it goes from literally September, people are talking about Halloween. Now it's October. Now people are really talking about Halloween. Soon as it's November 1st, bam, it's all Christmas stuff. Don't believe me? Go to any Walmart, go to any Target, bam, look at the freaking section.
I hear you. It's like when they put out pumpkins at 4th of July. I hate it because you're skipping over so much good stuff.
Right?
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
And
but you have to see from my standpoint as a dietitian, it's the one day of a year where people literally intentionally wear stretchy pants and gorge themselves. Like the meaning of Thanksgiving has just totally been lost. Like I want so badly to just like create a beautiful Thanksgiving meal that's not like 2,000 calories. Like that's what the holiday is about now.
I want you to be a politician and then like get up and be like, "All right, guys, I know we're all getting ready for Thanksgiving. So, I'm not saying, you gotta, be super healthy, but here, let me show you how your plate should look like."
Yeah,
and then people are going to be like, "The what?"
Just like bring out my plate and be like, "Let's remember, limit your carbs." Okay, like I have a thing with Thanksgiving, like rolls. Controversial opinion. Rolls should not be included in Thanksgiving.
Why? Because
you have so much other food and you have so many other carbs. You have stuffing, you have mashed potatoes, you have sweet potatoes, you have carrots covered in honey.
But you don't have rolls.
Yeah, but it's just bread. It fills your stomach with nonsense.
Have you had rolls?
Yes, I've had rolls before.
It's really good.
You can have rolls any day of the year.
Yeah, but it's really good.
And you're just like stuffing yourself and it's just like bread. And I love bread, but like you just have plenty of carbs already.
Yeah, but you don't have rolls.
I don't know. At my Thanksgiving table, I will never have rolls. I think they are pointless when it comes to the meal. I'm going to have some good stuff. You're going to want to go. So.
All right. If I'm invited, I'll go.
But I was a weight loss counselor, and I would hear so many excuses like, "Oh, well, Thanksgiving is coming up." I'm like, so you all of a sudden have to throw your entire like long-term goal out the window because you're going to be around family and all this food and what, you have no self-control? And so like...
Not on Thanksgiving.
And so it's like, it doesn't have to be... People literally gain 10 pounds around the holidays.
Yeah.
People gain 10 pounds
from
gorging, and you can still enjoy it and have a really delicious meal that's so much healthier for you.
Yeah. Now, I know, like, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. It's a dying holiday. Screw anybody that says it's Christmas, whatever. And it's not, like, I've gone cynical over the years because I like Christmas.
What? Have you?
I do. Tell. It's just when it comes to literally, I'm going to go on Facebook. I'll even take a screenshot and I'll send it to you next time I see it.
Yeah.
November 1st.
No, I know. People turn on the holiday music and the Christmas music and bring out the decorations.
It's Christmas part 1, and December is Christmas part 2, and it pisses me off because I don't mind December 1st, and then it's you know what? I'll even say this. From December 1st to the 31st, I don't care. You could have your Christmas tree up. You could be in the holiday spirit. I don't care. Even though it's after the 25th, man, you could still be in that Christmas spirit. I don't care. But as long as it's for a month. But I'm sorry, if it's 2 months, I get tired of it. I get burnt out.
Enjoy Thanksgiving?
I don't like things. I wouldn't want Thanksgiving in October or in December.
Holiday vibes, like it's all part of the holidays. Like people still celebrate Thanksgiving just because they're playing Christmas music doesn't mean they don't like the holiday.
No, because it's like you said, it's the vibe. It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
It's all Christmas stuff. It's all Christmas.
So what's
stuff.
the Thanksgiving vibe?
Like the freaking fall leaves and orange and turkey and just being with family. And
so it's
food.
like Halloween plus turkey.
Except not the freaking
jack-o'-lantern.
The Nightmare Before Christmas and
so you should just lay out specific guidelines for a Thanksgiving vibe for the month of November.
I'm not gonna do that. I hate those people who put
it
guidelines.
On social media so everyone sees it and says, hey, instead of
not gonna be that guy.
Christmas, let's try this year.
No, people can have their Christmas.
Get on your soapbox.
No,
it's Thanksgiving time. Decorate with turkeys.
Yes,
neutral colors
in
only.
November. And if you don't believe me that there's a war on Thanksgiving, Black Friday.
I don't put on my Christmas stuff until December 1st. So.
Good. Okay. Good. Yeah, because literally, I can't wait till somebody posts this, and I'm gonna take a picture of it. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna tag you on it.
Black Friday is a great example of just the gorging mindset of Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving Day,
no one thinks about it.
You eat your weight in nonsense, and then the next day, you spend all of your money.
But see, here's the thing. Thanksgiving,
it's a gluttonous holiday. I love Thanksgiving. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Literally, Thanksgiving and Black Friday. See, somebody, I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat here. Somebody's trying to destroy Thanksgiving because you could have picked anywhere else to put Black Friday, but no, you put it right after Thanksgiving because you spend time to be thankful for what you have and you're there with your family and all that stuff, and then bam, Black Friday, you're punching people for that new coffee maker, for that new TV, for that new game system. You're not being thankful.
I also really love turkeys. Like I hate seeing turkey. Poor, sad.
I like turkey bacon.
Okay,
controversial
I don't
opinion.
like turkey. I like turkeys, the animal.
Oh.
Like I want to open like a turkey sanctuary or something. They're just like they have so much attitude and they're like smart. They're just
I like their noises.
Oh. Yeah, they make cute noises. Like I want to have a turkey sanctuary where I just like celebrate them on Thanksgiving. And instead of eating turkey, I eat with the turkeys.
All right.
And you would be invited.
I will not come.
What? See, that's mindset.
Because I'll be looking at that turkey and be like, man, I really would like to have you in my stomach.
So, okay, this is another thing with like being vegan, vegetarian. Like, it's all about the mindset of people who aren't in that setting, Like,
what do you mean?
Eating a meatless meal has such a stigma around it now. Like, you go to a restaurant and people just feel the need to have meat on their plate. So you can have like an equally delicious meal with no meat on the plate. And it's like blasphemy. Like people think it's like unheard of. You're a tree hugger.
No.
I
have something of that. Like, okay. No, I don't. I mean.
No.
Okay, let me be more specific. If there is that stigma, I'll condemn them here and now. I'll make it public. No. If that's not where I have a problem. Me, DJ, I can only speak for myself. That's not where I have a problem. Where I have a problem is, and it's not with you. You don't do this. I mean, you're not in the food industry. It's people who try to say, well, I mean, I know you like veggie burgers, but like, try this Impossible meat. It tastes just like a burger.
That's another big thing with me is you don't have to so some of those products are for people who are vegan for ethical reasons and love the taste of meat and they miss it. And so those are really good for them. Me, I don't like a lot of those things. Yeah. Because that's not why I went plant-based.
Yeah. And see, when you mentioned that earlier dish with the rice, the broccoli, the teriyaki sauce, I was craving that because I'm like, you didn't mention any meat. And I was like, I would have that. Yeah. Why? Because it's not trying to be something meat. It's being its own thing. I love rice. I love broccoli. Teriyaki sauce, hell yeah, give me some. But it's when you say, oh, try this burger. It's
Yeah.
100% plant-based and it's not no
So the
meat.
thing that
Give
people
me
have
that.
to like get in their head is like not all plant-based substitutes are trying to be the real thing. Just think of it as like a completely different meal.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna push back. I think it is. How is
No,
it not? If
'cause-
you say, "Hey, here's a meatless ribs,"
Okay, that's trying to be the real thing, but think about a black bean burger.
okay, yeah, okay, black bean
That's
burger.
its own thing.
That's
It
its
has
own
its
thing.
own flavor profile. People are like, that's not a burger.
People
yeah,
are just gonna
it's
be
not
pissed
a
about the
burger.
word burger in
Which
the
is
title.
silly.
But
There's like
that's
a
silly.
huge
That's semantics
like
right there.
lawsuit going on with like vegan butter because
What?
yeah, the dairy industry was trying to push back and be like, this is not butter. You cannot call it butter. And they won. And they're like, we can, you know, just because it's not real butter doesn't mean it serves the same purpose. It has the same flavor. Like, the only difference is it didn't come from, like, a sad cow who lost her babies. Like, just...
Shots fired.
like, but, yeah, think about a black bean burger, you know? Cauliflower is a big one. People hate on cauliflower unless they're keto because they're like, that's not wings. That's not rice.
It's not wings.
It's, like... It doesn't have to be. It's cauliflower.
Just call it cauliflower. Yeah. I'm fine with that. Just
so
don't call
a
it wings.
black bean burger, show me somebody who would choose a black bean burger over a regular burger when they're both presented next to each other.
Oh, choose a real burger.
Because, like, a black bean burger can be really, really good. But people think of it as the backup option.
Yeah. And see, black bean burger specifically, like that name, I have no problems with that whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. But if you went to a burger shop, you would get a burger.
Yes.
Because the black bean burger is for people who don't eat meat.
Yes.
Which is the mindset that I'm talking about.
But like what I'm saying is black bean burger isn't advertised as like, oh, hey, it tastes just like a burger. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Just same. Okay, like this is going to be really, really silly, but I think it makes my point. If like say you opened up a restaurant, you made that dish, you described the rice, the broccoli,
sure,
the sauce, right? You wouldn't say like, oh, hey, try this dish. It tastes just like ribs. No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, hey, try this dish. It's good.
Yeah.
It doesn't need any introduction. It's good.
Yeah.
People like it's like riding somebody's coattail. That's what I picture. It's like we all know ribs are good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, hey, try this Impossible ribs. It tastes just like ribs.
Mm-hmm.
When we clearly know it doesn't.
And that's for the population that is for vegans who are vegan or vegetarians who are plant-based for ethical reasons.
Yes, that
and
crave
just
that.
like the flavor of ribs, but it doesn't come with the ethical.
It doesn't taste like ribs is what I'm saying.
Okay, but it's also not always a lot healthier than ribs. And so that one, choosing between the two,
I made my
isn't really going to
decision
make
when I
a
had
huge
the ribs. No, I get it.
But, like, it's just the stigma around, like, if you're at a restaurant, like, very rarely would someone who includes meat in their diet choose the plant-based option solely because it does not have meat in it. It's, like, ingrained in the brain. Like, you have to have meat with your meal.
Well, here,
even though it's nutritionally, you know, all the stuff's there in the plant-based.
Well, let me ask you a question, because, like, legit, like, this is what I'm thinking. Because I heard this years ago. I think I was in high school. Can't remember. But I heard, like, one of the things that makes, like, why people need protein, and usually because through meats, is because it makes you full. Like, it's one of those things that, like, makes you full. Like, you need to eat, like, a shit ton of rice in order to be full, when you can just have, like, a good, like, 10-ounce steak or something with rice and with other nutrients and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know vegans, they get some of their proteins through, like, things like nuts and stuff like that. So, like, if you can build me a vegan dish that, like, oh, you can still be full from this, like, with proteins and stuff. Yeah.
So it's less being like you said about rice, it's less about being full and more about, like, the staying factor. Mm-hmm. You can get full off of a salad. Like, in the moment, you feel full, but you might feel hungry 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
And so it's more about, like, the staying factor, and that's going to come from protein, fat, and fiber. Because carbs, especially if they're, like, simple carbs, like a white rice, something that doesn't have a lot of fiber in it, it just burns up real quick.
Yeah.
And so it's the other stuff that you need to help it kind of break down slower, keep you fuller for longer. And it's the same components regardless of if you eat meat and if you don't. It's protein, fat, fiber, like, or carbs that have fiber in them, right? And so you can build a meal with the same components, just one comes from a plant, one comes from an animal. So it's still the rice, or you could have a whole wheat bread if it's a sandwich or something like that, something that has fiber in it, because that's going to be one of the things that slows it down when it gets to your gut. Slows down the absorption is the fiber. So you want to make sure that's in there.
And that's the staying factor, right?
That's one of the staying factors, yes. Because it takes a while to break it down. Protein is a big one. Protein is going to keep you full for a long time. And so having a plant-based protein in there, and that could be beans, lentils, it can be tofu or tempeh or any of those like fake meats. Any of those are fine. Even stuff like hemp seeds, if you sprinkle those on top, if it's a salad, like that can be a big one. And then fat also, so including like healthy fats in there, and that could be drizzle of olive oil on top, or cooking in oil, or if you make a curry and it has coconut milk in it. Coconut's a great healthy fat. And having avocado with it, you know, just like including it so that it's balanced, because technically a vegan meal could be a plate of French fries.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be full. But if you look at the components of it, and you have all your components there, and it's enough, so also including all of those like non-starchy vegetables, that's going to be a big like bulk of your meal. And so that's going to be the vegetables on the side. Like they're so low in calories that you can really have a bunch of them. And so your meal is actually going to be like calorie for calorie, a lot bigger, because you need more of what you're eating to get to the same calorie level. And so if you have like, that's why if half of your plate is fruits and veggies, it's a whole half of your plate, because they're low in calories. So you need like a huge portion of it in order to kind of like bulk it up. Yeah. And you get a lot of nutrients from it.
I would like to challenge myself. Like, so like, this is the last vegan comment I'll make. I'm an incentive guy. Like, I need a good incentive, and I like a good challenge. And I remember, have you ever seen the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Long time ago.
All right. Well, there's that one character. He's a vegan, and because he's a vegan, he has superpowers.
Sure, I remember that.
If that was legit real, if somebody was like, you have to be a vegan for a whole year, and then you can start to have superpowers. Yeah.
So like heart disease, that's not like a good incentive. Diabetes.
Please. Anyway, so if somebody told me I could have superpowers by being a vegan a whole year, I'm not saying it would be easy, and I'm not saying I wouldn't fall off the horse, but I would at least attempt to try it.
Sure. I have this book called How Not to Die, which sounds intense. I realize that. It's really cool, though. I
know my mom wants to get me that book.
It takes the top, like, 14, I think it is, like, most common causes of death, and just goes into, like, the research about, like, how your diet can stop, prevent, reverse, whatever it is, like, all of these things. It actually has, like, really cool stuff in there. Like, there's an article or a section about how there was a study that was done with broccoli that slowed the progression of lung cancer.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, take it with a grain of salt, because they're small studies. There's not the funding
like
to do like salt? Huge amounts. See what you did there. Take it with literally 1 grain of salt, because that's all you need.
No, you gotta do this.
Yeah, with this. But yeah, and it has all that in there. And so once you like know that kind of stuff, like the power it has, like what it can actually do, it's crazy. And like I wrote a paper, you're gonna hate this. I wrote a paper for my master's degree that's literally about how bacon can give you cancer. And so like once you know that, and like you have to learn like the chemical reactions that take place, like you have an animal protein, it's heated to a high temperature, you have heterocyclic amines that form, you can like inhale them even, and they can be carcinogenic. Like once you know that stuff, it's hard to just like look down at your plate and be like, I'm gonna do it anyways. Yeah. So, but
I can see that.
That being said, it's everything in moderation at the same time. You know, you just have to make smart choices.
Basically, it's ignorance is bliss kind of thing, except, I mean, knowledge is power at the same time. And it's a blessing and a curse kind of thing.
That was so many sayings all at once.
But because, like, I remember somebody told me this. Like, I'm piggybacking off this. It was a friend that told me this. but it's like you have to say all those things at once. Why? Because ignorance is bliss, sure, but knowledge is power, sure, but knowledge is also a curse because
Yeah.
you're burdened with the facts now.
Yeah.
So, like with that bacon, like
Yeah.
me before interviewing you, and now I'm regretting it. I'm just kidding. Like I would have bacon on my plate and be like, all right, I'm having me some bacon. Now, if I read that book, I'd be like, I'm giving me cancer. But there's that other universe where I'm like, I know I'm giving me cancer. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But there's some stuff that you're right. It's like a blessing and a curse. Like soda, I can't drink like.
I don't like carbonation. That's honestly one thing that stopped me. I'll have it occasionally. Like I do like I'm having rum right here, but if I had Coke, rum and Coke, it's like one of my go-to cocktails. But I used to, like, as a kid, because you're a kid. Like I used to have soda, and my dad, he's a diabetic, and my mom actually does like an amazing job of like preparing like healthy dishes and stuff. And my dad, like, credit to him, because he doesn't want me and my brother to ever be diabetic, he would make sure that like my mom wouldn't buy like super unhealthy stuff at the house. Yeah. One time, this funny story that like I didn't know, I remember going to the cereal aisle, and we always ate Honey Nut Cheerios, and I really wanted Fruit Loops. And I begged my mom. I was like, Mom, please, let's buy Fruit Loops. Yeah. And she told me, I was a kid. I was like 9 years old. I don't remember. I was a kid. And my mom was like, no, we can't have this. Your dad would be pissed. Yeah. And I never understood that. And then one time when like I had like allowance money, or I had money for me, like I had like $10 or something. And I was like, I'm going to buy these Fruit Loops. And my mom was like mortified, like, just hide it from your dad, please. Yeah. Like, and so I did, just never knowing. I've heard the word diabetes and diabetic. I just never knew really what it was till like high school. And I was like, oh shit, that's what it is. And so now knowing that, it has some effects on me now today. Like, again, I'm not like super healthy, I'm not super like health conscious and stuff, but I do try. Like I do like the taste of turkey bacon. I do like real bacon, but I will buy turkey bacon on my own. Like I don't need somebody telling me whatnot. But like it's along those lines where, you know, knowledge is power, but it's also a curse. But it's honestly the optimist and pessimist, the glass half empty, half full. Yeah. I know like pork bacon tastes better, but I do like turkey bacon, so I'm gonna buy that. It's still not super healthy, but I don't mind it.
And there's a balance. There's just some stuff that like I got in my head, like, and I can't like make the connection. Like I don't remember the last time I had like real soda, like regular soda, because it's just so much sugar. When you like really know how much sugar is in it, you just like, I've seen all of the like nutrition fairs, you know, it has like the little cubes of sugar, and it's like they're all stood up, and it's like, this is how much sugar is in that.
Yeah, I've seen that a picture where somebody has like from water to like soda, and right under it, it's a baggie of white sugar. Of how much sugar
and it's like how much sugar is in it, so stuff like that. And like I can't
and how
have
it's
like
a small can of soda, and it has like this big bag of.
I know, and it's like, how does it get in there? Yeah, so that I like can't drink regular sugar because I'd rather eat a cookie or like have a slice of cake. Like I'm about the like enjoyment of the food, you know, and so I'd rather like spend that calorie deficit like or calorie allowance elsewhere. And then when it comes to like doubling up on carbs, you should have multiple carbs with every meal. But sometimes it just like for some reason gets in my brain. I eat a lot of carbs. Let me preface this by saying that. But like rice in a burrito, like the carb on carb there, that's like difficult for my brain to like allow for some reason. And so there's just like little things that I know it's just because I'm a dietitian. So if you go to Chipotle,
you don't get the rice?
I do, but I get a bowl.
Okay.
And so
Steven actually got me turned on to that.
To Chipotle?
No, to burrito bowls.
Oh, yeah.
I usually, like, before him and I went to Chipotle, 100% just got a traditional burrito. Yeah. Then he was ordering burrito bowls all the time, and wow. Basically, got me into that. Sorry, audience. So
Yeah.
that got me into it. So then I 100 till this day, ever since him and I went to Chipotle, 100% I get burrito bowls. I don't get traditional burritos anymore. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Wow.
there's just, it's the whole blessing and a curse thing.
Yeah.
So, but.
All right. So last question. So be specific. So like like this show doesn't necessarily have a theme, but like one theme in a way I like to do is like, especially when I have somebody who has a cool job like you, a cool job title, is maybe some people don't know this perspective, is what advice would you give to the world? So like right now it's not live, but let's pretend it's live. Let's pretend like I have 1 million viewers. I don't, one day. But so be specific. What advice would you give people about health, food, and nutrition? Like,
there's this author I really like. His name is Michael Pollan, and he has a saying. It's eat food, not too much, mostly plants. And like that's as easy as it has to be. And so like, don't try and go for like an all or nothing mindset. Make little changes instead of going like gung-ho or cold turkey. So like, acknowledge something that could be a healthier change and just try it, and you might love it. Give it a second, see if it sticks, is like something doable for you. And if you're struggling, try not to Google too much. And if you're gonna
try not to what?
Google too much.
Why is that bad?
Because there's a lot of misinformation out there when it comes to diet.
Google with misinformation?
I know.
Blasphemy.
It's like a new thing. But yeah, try not to Google too much. Trust the science is a big one. Nutrition is a science. And so like, go with the research. Don't just, if someone tells you that an apple can cure cancer, don't just believe it, you know? And if you need help, go for a registered dietitian and not a nutritionist. But ultimately, just don't make it so complicated, you know? Like, make healthier choices. Do it in moderation. Try not to eat your weight on Thanksgiving. Like,
the one thing I will
balance.
disagree with you on there.
Balance is all, you know? Focus on the colors. Just,
I like that. Focus
maybe
on the colors.
Try a new food.
Yeah. The focus on the colors thing. I like, try new food. Yeah, no, I
be open-minded, I guess. Is
I don't know.
saying it.
Like, this is where I'm a knock, but like out of love. I don't understand why people are picky. Like, I do try to get into that mindset. Like, why? Like, I get the whole.
I have a good story for this, actually.
Oh, good.
It's one of the things that got me into my current field. Still makes me so angry.
All right, here. Let me finish this thought real quick before I forget. So, like, in all essence, I am in that philosophy of don't fix what isn't broken.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you know, like, this world is huge and food is huge. You might as well try things, and then if you don't like it, you don't like it. It's just food. It's whatever. Now, when you get older and when you had a big palate, there are certain things like you just know it's not for you, like mushrooms for me. And like, you know, you talked about it for you as well. I've had mushrooms. I don't like it. Well, they're done. Calamari, I don't like it. I've tried it. Don't like it. Move on. Mayo, I've tried it. Don't like it. Moved on.
Yeah.
Now, if you bring me a food with like this huge recipe, and one of the recipes is mayo, chances are I'm not gonna like it. But I will still try it because it's a recipe. It's not mayo by itself. I'll try it, and then if I don't like it, I don't like it. But I don't know. It's just like it's picky people, picky adults is a huge question mark to me.
Yeah.
But anyways, you have a funny story.
So, some of it is just personality based. And a lot of it comes from childhood. A lot of the behaviors people have towards eating stems from what they observed when they were little, what they did when they were little, what they were instructed to do when they were younger. Like, a lot of it comes from childhood. And I was in the grocery store once. Really makes me angry. And it was before I did my dietetic internship. I actually put it in my personal statement when I applied to the dietetic internship. Like, this was a real driving factor for me. I was just in Kroger in the produce section. It's where I spend my days. And there was this mom, and she had like multiple children with her, and they were just shopping around. And this little girl picks up a grapefruit, and she asks if they could try it. And the mom was like, ew, gross. No, put that down. Those are nasty. And all of the kids were like, ew, that's gross. Grapefruit is gross. Scarred them for life. Like, they're never going to try a grapefruit now because they are going to
Well, I mean,
it's
to be
nasty.
fair, grapefruit is freaking nasty.
Yeah, I don't like grapefruit, but that was just what the fruit was. I've tried grapefruit and have decided I don't like it.
Yeah.
But now,
no, I see what
how
you're
many
saying.
other vegetables or fruits has she done that with that she turned, like, she doesn't like broccoli? And so all the kids are like, ew, broccoli, that's gross. And she's, like, breeding picky eaters by doing this, like, totally unintentionally. She
See,
just
that
doesn't
woman
like
deserves to
grapefruit.
get canceled. I'm just kidding.
I mean...
No. Canceling is wrong. Anyways.
But yeah, and so, like, now when these kids eventually do try whatever she has told them in the past have been, like, nasty foods, they're gonna have, like, a self-fulfilling prophecy thing going on, and they're gonna be like, I mean, I already know I don't like this, I'm gonna try it anyways. They take a bite and they're like, yeah, no, that's gross. So, but that's just a mindset. I saw an ad for, I think it was a craft ad in a food magazine, and this really, like, angers me, grinds my gears.
Yes, talk about it.
And it's a fork with a big Florida broccoli on it. Broccoli's my favorite vegetable. My little badge clip for work is broccoli. And it has, like, this, like, cheese sauce pouring down on top of it, and it just says, what broccoli? And I saw that, and I was like, who approved this?
Yeah.
Like,
Craft.
that, I feel so bad for the broccoli. Broccoli is so good, and it's so healthy, and you're pouring fat on it.
Yeah.
And, like, saying what? And everyone's like, oh, that's true. I'll eat more broccoli. I'm just going to douse it in this sludge, in this yellow sludge. And, like...
I'll be honest. I know, unpopular opinion, whatever. My favorite vegetable is green beans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, green
Great
beans.
source of protein.
Oh, nice. Green beans over broccoli. Like, if gun to my head, I had to pick one of the two, green beans. But I like broccoli too.
Mm-hmm.
I've had broccoli with cheese. No.
Yeah, that was never a thing when I was little, so I never really, like,
I don't get it.
Got on board. But it's just, like, the idea, like, they're just, like, automatically putting in people's heads, broccoli is nasty and you have to cover up the flavor with our delicious cheese
And then
sauce.
it's also not even with just that is, excuse me. Oh, I have, like, say you're at the grocery store, right? Like, wherever.
Yeah.
You pick up broccoli. Now I have to get cheese because I picked up the broccoli. I can have cheese with anything else.
Yeah.
But if I pick up broccoli, I have to pick up cheese.
Yeah.
I can't have broccoli by itself.
It's like mind games. And then I have another friend who has some kids. One of them was a really picky toddler. Like, she didn't eat anything. And then she had another kid, and she just had in her mind already, like, kids are picky. Vegetables are gross, whatever. And so, like, she made broccoli tots instead of giving this toddler just broccoli. And she was like, this way it's, like, snuck in there. Like, this toddler doesn't know that the whole world hates Brussels sprouts, right? Like, just let's see if they like it, like, objectively.
Yeah.
And so people just, like, get in their mind that, like, there's just that, like, stigma around it. And Kraft is making it worse with their advertisements and that lady at the grocery store. I wish I was, like, a food police and I could just, like, hand out tickets. I'd be like, inappropriate, just...
God, see, man, I'm so... like, I swear, if I had the resource, we would make a skit and we would make that happen. Like, you being
so
the
many
food
ideas. We need to write these down.
Like,
well, we have it on recording.
We have it on recording. Oh, man, dude, that's... Oh, God, this is great. So, okay,
But yeah, that's my final advice is to eat food, not too much, mostly plants.
Yeah. What's here, let's even go even deeper. Right now, what's don't worry, let's pretend for 1 second that the world isn't picky.
Sure.
What's one of your favorite dishes that you think, like, yo, people are sleeping on this. Like, people should try this. It's easy, it's cost efficient. just make this dish. I promise you. Say, you know what? You don't even have to go vegan like me.
Mm-hmm.
Make this dish. Try to incorporate it in your life. Because I'm not gonna lie. I'm saying this for me because
Sure.
maybe I'll try it tomorrow.
Question.
Who knows?
This is a tough question. I really like bowls. I like making like a bowl, like a
bowl.
Yeah, I like bowls. I'm trying to think.
Talk if you like a bowl, whatever it's in it. I'm gonna say this for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell me what's in the bowl, like you give me a bunch of stuff, I love food that there's a bunch of stuff. If you tell me, like, don't get me wrong, I love my steak. I'm a steak guy.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me a good marinating recipe, I'll try it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you tell me a bowl, because it's so many different foods of all worlds.
Yeah. Like I have trouble just choosing like one like thing, so that's why I like bowls, because then I can have everything. I don't have to decide. And so like I really like making like sushi bowls where it's just rice. I love tofu. I didn't at first, but it's really grown on me and I love it now.
Can't do it.
I know, it's okay. It's not for everybody. It definitely was acquired for me, but now I really love it. So I'll do like a teriyaki tofu or something. You can have edamame for some awesome protein. You can have like crunchy onions on top for like texture. Some sort of like spicy mayo sauce in there. And then some sauteed green beans. I have this like Asian green bean recipe I really like to make. So I'll like put that in there. I probably will add broccoli because I love it. Roasted sweet potato would probably be really good in there too.
Sweet potato.
To try and like pull in all the flavor profiles here. But then I also really love like a burrito bowl where you can do a guac and like fire roasted corn. You could do like a Spanish rice in there. You don't even have to have tofu in that one. You could do black beans or pinto beans, which you just add like a few different seasonings to, and it's like a whole new thing. Obviously some lettuce, and I love red cabbage. I'd probably actually put red cabbage in the sushi bowl as well, or purple cabbage. And so yeah, you have that going on. Just all the bowls. I really like all the bowls.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
There's this place down in Atlanta. I think it's called Dragon Bowl. Yeah, it is called Dragon Bowl. Dragon Bowl.
It's right by where I work.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
I went there. It's really good. Just what you're describing literally is what I'm picturing just with me.
Yeah.
And shit, I'm craving that now.
There's a place called Upbeat that does really good bowls. They have tons of like plant-based options. They also have, you know, like shrimp and free-range chicken, and they have like meat options as well, but like tons of veggies, cold veggies, warm veggies, like a whole list of sauces that are like naturally plant-based, so everybody can enjoy them, which I personally really appreciate. And you could just like construct your own really good bowl. Man,
like you honestly, I'm not just saying this. You really did a good job of describing this, because like I literally, before I ever met you, I didn't care. I was just like, I'm just gonna do me, whatever. I'm just gonna eat food. But now I do see, like, I'm a competitive dude. I do see it as a challenge. I do want to try. I'm not saying I'm gonna go vegetarian or vegan, but I love food as well, and I really do want to try, like, for a whole day. Like, let me see, like, how far can I take it without having any meat?
Yeah.
Like, what other food can I be introduced to that, like, I won't give up meat, but I'll at least have this bowl meatless.
Or just like start with a meal. Like, I'm gonna have a meatless breakfast.
I want to try that.
And like just stop there for now, you know? And then the next day be like, I'm gonna challenge myself to have a balanced lunch with no meat in it. And you just naturally will try different things.
I really do. I think this is how it starts. But like, I really, you convert. If I become a vegan, people are going to blame you.
It's all part of the plan.
Especially my mom. My mom's going to hate it. Be like, no, like, you got to, like, you know, I got to feed my baby. Yep. But no, Meaghan, thank you. Oh my God. Like, you've gave me, this was fun. Also, I wanted to mention this. I have it written down here. You're my 20th guest.
Oh, wow.
Like, you're the big 2-0.
All right.
Holy shit. I've interviewed 20 people. That's
exciting.
It's actually exciting for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, and I got new boom arms, so I'm like, oh hey, and a new backdrop. But Meaghan, thank you so much. I know you're really cool, so like I'm just messing with the vegan thing. Youngblood.
Youngblood.
Yeah, cool
point.
point.
Cool factors already there.
So, I'm just messing with you with the vegan thing. Like, you're also dating one of my best friends, so like, hey, you honestly, I'm not just saying this. You gave me some things to think about. Like,
I'm glad.
I really see myself editing this episode, putting it together, and then I'm gonna like at one point just keep watching it and be like, oh shit, I gotta finish this. But I can see this being one of the episodes where I watch to try to retain some knowledge.
Wow.
Like, and you
so
mentioned
happy.
like 2 or 3 books. I'm definitely gonna try to see if,
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty busy, but I will try to make it an effort.
I can let you know the good parts.
I will definitely try to read some of the books. I've been, like, on a side note, trying to get into reading. But Meaghan, thank you so much. If there's anything else, like, do you care? I know you're not in the entertainment field, but do you care about last thoughts that you want to leave people with? Any people to follow you? Anything, whatever. I don't. This is your time to say anything.
No, I have got up on my pedestal and said all the nutrition.
Did you have
things.
fun? Are you
I did have fun.
Yes,
yeah, I did.
Yes.
I did.
Like,
yeah, this was really fun.
I hope I did. Like, I know you were still nervous in the beginning, but like I said, like my job is to make you feel comfortable. I hope you're comfortable.
I am. This was really fun. And I hope, like, I feel like if you try like one meatless meal and feel like accomplished,
I'm
by
not
that,
lying
like,
when I tell you, I really do want to try
efficient,
one.
productive.
Like, you know what?
And I have like 150 cookbooks if you need some ideas.
No. You know what we're gonna do one day? One day, not anytime soon, probably, because I got a midterm that I'm studying for. No, one day, no, for real. Like I'm gonna put this out publicly. That way, people can hold me to the fire. Yeah, exactly. I'm all about that. One day we're gonna get together and we'll make a fun video of it too, Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
Where either you cook it for me or we'll cook it together, and because I love cooking too.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a meatless dish. We're gonna get my reaction to it.
Okay.
I'm honestly down.
That'll be fun.
That'd be fun.
I have a good one. Do you like spicy food?
Not really, but
really?
like I'm down. I'm
okay.
down.
It's a good one.
But like,
yeah, that'll be fun. We'll do a little cooking demo.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything big production. Like we can easily do this.
Yes.
And I really do want to get my reaction because, like,
broaden your horizons.
Absolutely. I'm not a picky dude, and at the same time I love food. So I do love meat, but if I can have a dish without meat and it's still being like really good,
it's about enjoying your meal. It's not about what you feel necessarily like you're obligated to put it in there.
Yeah. It's
about making healthier choices and finding the enjoyment in it.
Like, again, Meaghan, I can't say enough praises. Meaghan, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
I'm getting a new table. Like, it's like right now it's 4 feet across from my guest. I'm getting one that's 3 feet, so like handshaking is easier and it's gonna be longer. Can't wait for that. My buddy John, shout out to you, John. I know you're not watching this, but anyways, Meaghan, again, for the last time, thank you so much. I did learn a lot.
Thank you for having me. It's been so fun.
All right. Take it easy, guys. Take care.